The nation is grappling with the implications of a sudden freeze on federal grants and loans, announced by the White House on January 27, 2025. This decision has sent shockwaves through healthcare, education, and social services as organizations reliant on federal funding face uncertainty. A federal judge temporarily blocked part of the freeze order on January 28, preventing the immediate halt of already granted funds. The freeze, enacted through a memo directing agencies to pause all activities related to federal financial assistance, has been met with swift reactions from lawmakers and nonprofits. The coming days and weeks will be crucial in determining the fate of this controversial order and its impact on millions of Americans. The White House issued a sweeping memo on January 27, ordering a pause on federal grants and loans to review funding aligned with its priorities. This move signaled a significant shift in federal spending and raised concerns about potential disruptions to vital programs. The freeze order includes key exemptions. Social Security, Medicare, and direct aid programs remain untouched. Despite these exemptions, the OMB's memo sparked immediate confusion and concern. Initially, many wondered about the status of programs like Medicaid and SNAP, which involve state-administered funds. Later clarifications confirmed these programs would continue without interruption, but the initial uncertainty underscored the lack of clarity. The freeze order's focus on aligning funding with administration priorities raises questions about which programs might be cut. A leaked spreadsheet revealed a review of over 2,000 programs, focusing on those related to undocumented immigrants, climate policy, diversity initiatives, and abortion. This targeted approach suggests a clear ideological motivation behind the freeze. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt emphasized that the federal aid freeze was a targeted pause aimed at ensuring alignment with the president's agenda. Leavitt stressed the administration's commitment to responsible stewardship of taxpayer dollars and eliminating wasteful spending. She reassured Americans that essential programs and services would remain intact, reiterating exemptions for Social Security, Medicare, and individual assistance programs. Agencies overseeing programs misaligned with the administration's priorities would have the opportunity to present arguments for continued funding. Critics argued that the vague language of the OMB memo pointed to a politically motivated attempt to undermine initiatives not aligned with the administration's ideology. The White House's response, while projecting fiscal responsibility, failed to address anxieties about potential disruptions to vital services and the lack of transparency. Less than 24 hours after the federal aid freeze announcement, a coalition of nonprofits, including the National Council of Nonprofits and the American Public Health Association, filed a lawsuit challenging the legality of the OMB's directive. The lawsuit argued that the OMB overstepped its authority by attempting to unilaterally halt congressionally approved funding. Nonprofits highlighted the immediate and irreparable harm the freeze would inflict on vulnerable populations reliant on the affected programs. The lawsuit requested a temporary restraining order to block the freeze while the case is being heard. This legal challenge represents a significant obstacle for the White House's plan and underscores the growing opposition to the freeze. The outcome of this lawsuit could set a precedent for the balance of power between the executive branch and Congress in budgetary matters. As the legal battle over the federal aid freeze unfolds, uncertainty grips organizations and individuals across the country. Critics argue that potential savings from the freeze are illusory and would come at the cost of vital services. Organizations like Head Start and Meals on Wheels have voiced deep concerns about potential service disruptions. The freeze order has drawn sharp criticism from congressional Democrats who accuse the White House of circumventing Congress's budgetary authority. Senators Patty Murray and Rosa DeLauro sent a scathing letter to the White House, urging the administration to respect Congress's role in appropriating funds. The freeze order has ignited controversy, raising serious questions about the separation of powers and the potential consequences for millions of Americans.